What's up, everybody? It's your boy Nomis J coming at y'all real quick, man. Let's get into it with the Detroit Lions draft grades, man. This is not where I'm doing my overall drag grade really, but more of a pick grade, I should say. Understand this: these grades could vary, change later down the line. These grades are just way early grading based off what we've seen for what these guys are in college with the film we watched. Of course, we'll have to grade them again after we see a lot of them play later down the line, so then we can get a better, fair conversation on what the players are, how good they were. So that's all it is. So you don't have to overtake this video too seriously. You don't have to get upset if you think a player wasn't great the way you think it. It's just a base off grade based by position. You know what I'm saying? You're welcome to disagree. I'll ask to be respectful about it. But other than that, let's get into it, man. For the first round pick, Jeff Okudah, I'm giving that grade a solid A- to B+ grade. Due to the fact reason why I'm in between there, I'm rounded between like a B+ to A- is because, you know, it's always a risk sometimes taking a corner in the first round in general, let alone you took him in the third pick overall, which something like that hasn't been done since 1997. I have nothing against the player. Maybe the Lions could have made a move to try to like get, you know, another draft pick potentially, but one thing I always say, just because it didn't appear that another team was going to take them down, I mean they wouldn't have. Every other team has a draft board as well, so I actually commend the Lions at the same time for getting a guy who still fits the profile of the Bob Quinn code as well. So that's kind of where I'm going with that. I give it a B+ to a B to A-. So I don't know why anybody would give that pick a failing grade based off who he didn't face in college. You know, he's going to be practicing against big name receivers in training camp, so at some point he's going to work against a tough receiver. I'm not even about to beat the kid down, but anyway, next pick, DeAndre Swift. I'm gonna give that one a narrowed, I want to say a A- grade to also B+ grade, because the running back situation you got him for, a lot of people feel like he's not a scheme fit directly, and he's going to be used more of an outside where you put him in space and put him in zone, I guess, situations. But that's a move you have to really wait and see how well it's going to work before you just give it a harsh grade. But for the talent, the guy who has the talent, man, hey, I'm going with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving it like a B+, A-. You know, I had nothing against any running back we would have brung on the roster in that pick. So you couldn't have went to me too wrong with that. So I feel like the Lions did good, get a young player, man. That SEC background as far as the running back room just got a lot bigger with him. And then I'm going to go with the third overall pick, Julian Okwara. Hey, I'm just going to give him a straight up, I'm just go ahead and give him a straight up A. Just to be, just for the courtesy of it, because the fact of the matter, this is a guy who's a first round talent, prepared to be a late first round pick, possibly in some cases a second round pick. You stole him in the third round. I have no problem getting him where we got him. You guys asked for pass rushers. Well, the Lions delivered on that pick. You know, yeah, he did have a broken leg, but the guy still put up like 19 solo tackles and 7 sacks right before he went out in that senior season. So who knows how well he would have gotten in his final year, which definitely would have probably increased his stock higher. So I expect him to eventually be figured out in Matt Patricia's defense, and we go see what happens with that. So for the other third round pick, and I'm actually going to grade both that other third rounder and that fourth rounder, I'm giving both those picks for what they are. I'm giving them a grade of a A-. Yes, I said an A-. You got a legit right guard and you got a legit left guard. One of them is a bit nasty brawler in the fourth round, who's a lot of people are pegging to be a very bit mean guy who can just knock you down. He's known as bit nasty. And then Genoa might be the more polished of the two coming out the draft class. You know, some people feel there was better talent there. I know one thing when it comes to Bob Quinn, he picks who he feels is necessary for the offense that they want to run. So if they get a certain weapon or they get a lineman, it's for a specific reason. Now, I give them an A because we needed a guard or a couple of guards in this draft, and they found a way to get 2 very good, talented guards that actually have good track records. At the same time, you can see where they need development. This is why I had to give them a narrow down A-. This is why I'm giving them a narrow down A-. I don't know. So that's where I'm going with it, man. Give them a narrow down A-. That's where I'm at with the pick. So with the 5th round, 2 5th-round picks, we got Cephas and Mr. Jason Huntley. With those two, with the first pick, with just Cephas, I am going to give them a standard B. You know what I mean? They needed, you know, to me, in that grade, the reason why I didn't give them an A is because, you know, I mean, come on, what's the necessary need to give them a failing grade? I mean, a high grade like that, you know, for a guy who's going to come in and, you know, be a rotational guy coming in mainly to help block and probably be a contributor on special teams and then make a few catches. So you don't have to really give that a high grade. That's just why I feel like he didn't need to get A. It's not like you got, you know, a guy who's definitely going to be like a #1 receiver style guy in the future. I mean, he could be, but it's too early. So I had to give him like a B. And Jason Huntley, I'll actually give a B+ to, because the reason why I give him a slightly higher grade is due to the fact of the matter, he has more he can come in and do. He can fight for camp position battles here, man. He can come in and challenge these guys for their jobs on special teams, as far as being a return man, and he could actually be a playmaker. And he's considered the fastest running back, I believe, in the draft, if I'm correct, out of New Mexico. So even if he makes the rotation that would keep 4 bats or 5 bats, he actually has a purpose on his team that he'll actually probably be able to contribute. And I think you got a lot of good value. I know people want to rate the grade lower than that due to Bradley and Nate being on the board when we could have got him. But like I said, they had a specific reason they wanted to get him. I think you get more multiple purposes out of him, so that's kind of where I'm with it. And the last 2 draft picks, man, of the draft, you got John Penny. I'm just gonna give that pick a B off the rip, a B+ for the name. Again, man, you got defensive lineman late, and Jayshon Cornell as a 7th-round pick, man. I'm just gonna give that one a solid B, and because we don't know enough about him, that's kind of where I'm at. But I think he's a talented young pass rush. I don't know how many snaps. He'll be definitely a bottom of the depth chart guy if you get him. So if you want to make the grade lower, that's fine. But Panisi, he may not make the roster initially, but the thing with him though is he's the guy who could also be a development piece behind Danny Shelton, and you probably don't have to have him on the main roster either. Necessary for that be the case as well. So you can have him on the practice squad. Somebody gets hurt, let's say in particularly Danny Shelton, he can actually be promoted if you wanted to later down the season or something like that. So he's at least somebody we can see in practice on 3rd teams with and see what we get out of him. I think that's good picks. The D-line already had a lot of signings already added to the roster free agency, so to me there's probably no need to go and get a bigger name that you probably not go play off the rip anyway. So I think you got those guys in the first pitch. I could make those grades higher, but I think B would just be at the perfect scenario, which is where my overall grade for now for the NFL draft, man, for the Detroit Lions is an A- kind of grade, or B is actually a B+. That's what I'm gonna leave it, B+. I think that's the fairest thing to say for this draft, was a B+ based off the way we got players, and everything else is a B+. So y'all can take it with a grain of salt. If you think it should be higher, if you think it should be lower, leave in the comment section. Sorry if I was doubling wording things, but that's just sometimes what I do. Again, tell me what you think. It's your boy Nomis J, man. I'll catch y'all later, and I'm out. Peace.